Hello, everybody. Welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 6. We're at the lower bracket round 1 for you today. It's Koari versus Volc-41. Commentating for us, we have Drewness and Yoshi Kion, and tracking our Axel Reinman and Tenacious Toad. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hey. Of course you did.
Somebody had to.
So, this was an interesting match. They obviously losers bracket round 1. They both lost their first matches, both against very strong opponents that I think everyone saw being in the kind of top bubble. Ignore the last tournament matches. That's not quite accurate. It's the first tournament for both of them. The first ZSR major for each runner here, so
It's cool seeing, like, they're only 1 seed apart. They've played almost exactly the same number of races. Their head-to-head is, like, very even.
yeah, it's interesting because, you know, I've been digging through tournament results a bit recently, and they have had very kind of different histories in the game. But their recent history is, very similar, apparently. Koari's been playing for a lot longer and has had pretty mixed records throughout. It's almost exactly 50-50 the whole way. But in particular has had a really good showing recently. The speed gaming event a few months ago, he managed to get some pretty big wins coming out of a really strong group there. And like, when I say coming out of a group, I don't mean just like, barely scraped through against some strong opponent. Like, he beat Mario, I'm pretty sure, Mario's a pretty top pick for the whole tournament at this stage.
Yeah, wasn't he, like, first in his group?
Koari, I think, came, first or second in a group with, like, Mario and... I'm trying to remember who the other top runner in that group was now. There was someone else who was, like, really strong. Anyways. Volc, on the other hand, very new. But has been, like, the pupil of Ecola, who was the pupil of Arthur.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So, expecting good things. Koari appears to be a very big fan of birds.
Damn. Imagine thinking birds were real.
Looks like we'll be off here in just a few seconds. I guess just to touch on the starting here, we have Fire Med, which a couple seasons ago was known as the Jet Seed Med. And then starting off with Bolero, which will net us another song, which is pretty important. We got a very quick pedestal read there from Koari. Forest Shadow, Fire Deku Jabu.
It's not the worst setup.
Yeah, so our stones are...
Spirit being a stone is a big deal, I think.
DC Water Spirit.
Is that the final prize in GT? So the Training Ground Center chest is a bomb bag. Somehow I don't think that'll be the first one.
Yeah, big doubt. Spirit Path to PG, so we're gonna go to Stone Spirit probably at some point.
Okay, I do want to get your thoughts on something because it's coming from chat. Koari did it as well. Are you the type of person who reads the pedestal and tracks it as you read it, or like recites it to remember it to track it, or do you do what Koari did and kind of spam through it, pause, whole day, read it there?
I just read it and remember everything. It's weird. Like, I can remember the first like 3 or 4. And then just, like, visualize the other ones. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, I hold some of it in, like, text memory, and then some of it in, like, image memory. I don't know. It's super weird.
I know that it was really funny when we did co-op, because I was the person reading the pedestal the last time I did a co-op thing. And my method is to recite them. I'll sit there and I'll just be like, okay, fire, shadow, spirit, whatever order. I'm not doing the ones for this. I'm just picking dungeons. So I'd be like, okay, forest, shadow, fire, Deku Jabu, forest, shadow, fire, Deku Jabu, and I'd be reciting it the entire way over to the Master Sword.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant my co-op partner also got the information because I was reciting it so much that they'd remember it.
Yeah, in co-op I was the pedestal guy, so... So we got some bomb shoes in the windmill, that's pretty nice. Also, to note, Koari never played Bolero, so doesn't have that free song from there. Which is
true,
an interesting choice, especially on... Well, I think... Is he on VC? I don't actually remember. I think so. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure he's on VC, so probably just trying to save himself the save warp there, but obviously songs can be extremely important. In this case, it's just serenades, so nothing that's going to cost him too much, but can be a little scary skipping a song right off the bat.
Yeah, it's definitely going to work out well in this scenario, and I can understand the thinking on both sides, because, yeah, like you say, the save warp afterwards, at the end of your adult section, which you assume is going to be pretty short, you're going to want to go back to Temple of Time anyways. So playing Bolero, getting the song, and then save quitting to do Temple of Time once is a lot more kind of efficient than having to save quit out twice.
Yeah, like he's basically gambling that it's not going to be a song he needs right away, which of course will definitely work out for him here. Also, Windmill had Requiem, so that's another free song that we're going to get, which is pretty nice. We're going to be starting off the seed with a ton of songs and at least 3 warp songs, so...
Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I guess the odds are in your favor that you don't have to save reset twice in Koari's shoes. That the song is not relevant. Because Zelda's Lullaby would be good. A warp song like Minuet doesn't matter because you can then just play that before you save quit. I guess Nocturne is a good one.
Yeah, Suns can be good. It really depends.
But... gives you an extra check in the graveyard at the very least. So there's like 3 songs there that pay out for you, but then... well, that means there are 8 that don't.
This Dampe is not being kind to Koari, also.
No, absolutely not. A seeded Dampe RNG when?
Oh my god. Honestly, seeded Dampe RNG is probably less... like some of it at least does come down to... I don't want to say skill, but like just being in the right place or the wrong place at the right or wrong time.
Oh yeah, when I say seeded, I mean in the same way that like the Shadow Truth Spin is done now, where it's different every seed, but 2 people on the same seed will get the same RNG the first time through.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like even if 2 people had the same RNG, like one person can just get completely destroyed.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, sure enough, this was a 53 and a 56, which
definitely
typically people are aiming for around a 50 or lower in bracket, I would say. The best is what, 47?
46 is like the best you'll probably ever see in a rando race. I think 45 is possible if you start from the floor, but it's actually like ridiculously hard. Koari, I'm pretty sure I know that Koari is not he doesn't really care for the whole like early river meta. I'm kind of surprised to see neither runner go for it, because with Requiem, like you move your time of day to the start of day, which I think gives you a good opportunity to go river, and if anything is there,
oh my god,
you get to keep it. Yeah, early Minuet is really good, so we just basically almost have every warp song at this point, which is very nice. ZL.
Oof. So, kind of awkward chaining on everything, but it's kind of to be expected with how everything played out there.
Graveyard Path
Graveyard-
of Bongo Slingshot? Or the song? The song could be Nocturne.
I was gonna say, the song is the most likely. So far, I think it's just the slingshot, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Koari leaving. So we have a real split here already. Although we didn't comment on it, but Spirit Path to Phantom Ganon is a very, very interesting hint.
Oh, that actually makes sense. Okay, so the slingshot could be path to get further into spirit to get an item like a hookshot or a bow, which might also just be required to beat Shadow Temple.
That's
Like,
true,
that's-
actually. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Definitely a possibility.
Also, yeah, we didn't comment on it, but Koari is definitely on the weeb train with his models.
Yeah, that's fun. I like it. When models first came out, I was playing with Hinata for like the first little while. I think the model's amazing. Like, it's so good.
Looks like a really well made one, which is like really impressive.
Yeah, the shield also is like a chakra shield. Like, it looks really good.
I'm definitely excited to see what people do with like the custom models and stuff. I'm excited to see the race legal ones because you get to see them shown off on the restreams all the time and stuff. So I want to see the ones that people make and how they kind of work around those like limitations as well. Welcome in, Raiders. Yeah, early in the race here, so not a lot of information to go on right now, but just on that early child, and I assume we'll see a spirit temple as part of it as a result of the hints we've got.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with choosing slingshot. Like, I'd imagine the early spirit play is going to be something that's very pulling for these runners, I guess. But yeah, so far, like, in terms of routing, everything's been pretty straightforward. It's not really any decisions to be made here. Just grabbing all your songs. They're gonna go to Lon Lon. They're gonna play Minuet. They're gonna go to Spirit. But hopefully we can start finding some items to give us something to talk about.
Yeah, it's interesting with all the warp songs early. It's not even like there's only warp songs. it's kind of weird because it makes the routing somewhat linear, even though there was that kind of early split of like, oh, do you get the warp song immediately or not? And they did different things. Neither of them really made a difference. It wasn't like going to Kakariko and doing all the checks and songs there first was relevant, and it's not like getting the Bolero song first was relevant. So they've just kind of converged again.
Yeah, the main difference here is Koari walked down just to be pummeled by a moblin a little bit, and then you really don't want to stick around and just wait for the moblin to walk away. It's better to just save everything for child, I think.
Also, I will be honest, I forgot to take note of hints until after the Temple of Time ones, so I have no idea what was on those. But I have everything else. I know one of them was that the center of Gerudo Training Grounds was a bomb bag, because I remember talking about it.
Yeah, thankfully, both players have only read the same hints, and we can see them on Volc's tracker. So,
Aha! Genius. So their save quit is fishing. That's a really... Well, is that a nice one? They've already got Serenade.
yeah, I'd say that's not a good spawn. You'd probably prefer like Valley or something, so you could do it for free. This is an
Yeah,
interesting
Valley
fishing
is...
strat. They're like wiggling left and right. It looks very funny.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen that one before. Yeah, Valley is going to be an interesting one here. If Valley has an item, then this could prove to be very interesting. Koari straight to Spirit. I respect this.
Yeah. You could definitely like find an item in here that helps you. I mean, like if Kokiri's sword is in here that's like leading to something to beat Shadow or Forest or whatever, then like maybe this is just the correct play. At the very least, like you're not gonna get stopped here. You can full clear Child Spirit with what you have. So
Plus, there's little differences the whole way through, right? You know, we mentioned earlier the warp songs back and forth, and it was like, oh, it didn't make a difference, but it kind of did because Koari saved on a save warp by not going to Bolero first. I think the biggest question here is what Koari does out of Spirit. Is it Minuet to go to Kokiri Forest and then save quit?
I think it will be, yeah. That makes the most sense to me, at least. You have Saria Song, you have Slingshot.
Because if it's a warp, save, quit, and then later Minuet, then that is slower. You spend an extra warp in there. But if it's just the Minuet out, I think this works out better.
Forest Path to Baronade.
This early hookshot, I'm assuming it's a hookshot in Spirit, we have no idea. But if it's an early hookshot, then that would be a huge deal.
Yeah, because you can get into like early Forest Temple in Logic. You have Song of Time, so you can do the Courtyard. Like, there's pretty good odds of being able to find whatever the path to Baronade is. And also, like, pretty good odds that's like a bomb bag or something at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Although, yeah, DC's a stone, so pretty good odds.
Price is going to save scum the key here, which normally I'm a big fan of save scumming. I don't know if I would in this scenario. I don't think it's bad necessarily, but I think it's... Spirit's a stone. You probably don't need all the keys anyway.
Yeah, and like next time you come in, you're going to be going up adult side anywhere, where like any keys that you don't get now are going to be. I guess like if maybe you find 2 strengths before hookshot, you don't have to worry about compass chest being a key or something. But yeah, I pretty much never scum the first, but I always scum the top one. At least personally. Oh, big chest.
Alright, and...
Strength.
Strength. Oh, wow, okay, so that's... And that's part of Phantom.
Vanilla shoes.
Oh, wow, that's huge. Okay.
That's the use of the shoe.
So strength 1 for Phantom Ganon. Epona song? Thanks.
Sort of.
I was really hoping it would do the pattern. but instead they just missed a note.
Oh yeah,
That's me when I play Epona's song.
They never give you what you want. It's awful. So item-wise, Lost Woods is looking pretty dead so far, as some might say.
I certainly would not say. Yeah, not much to work with here, and the items and songs at this point kind of leave a lot to be desired. Like, what do you do from here? We've seen Spirit, we've seen Lost Woods. Let's assume they swap places now, so we assume they've done both. What next? Like, what do you have?
I think we'll worry about it after Midos, but
yeah.
Like, CAC is okay. Like, you can go there and get the song, and maybe the song is leading to Bongo, and...
Dipping into Dodongo's cavern as well with strength afterwards?
Yeah, that's definitely a good play. You have Choose, so you can complete it while you're there. It is a stone, so not, like, the biggest deal in the world, but... it's something you can do. And it's in logic. Not to beat it, but...
There are options, but I wouldn't think they're good options.
Yeah. I think, like, honestly, you probably go to CAC, see what the song is. If it's Storms, you dip into the well. If it's not Storms, maybe you just go back to Dalton. Just do a bunch of,
yeah, for sure.
Bunch of stuff.
Just a wallet there. Koari having those extra chews to work with here is probably going to have a little bit of an easier time right now. I don't think Volc should be in danger of running out, though, assuming he goes to Spirit next.
Yeah, I think he will. Yeah, like, maybe we'll see Koari go for, like, big rolling Goron or something.
Yeah, that
just
makes
like
sense.
Because he has the extra choose, or I mean, you can check Darunia too. It's not like a. Actually, you can just full clear Child Goron City if you wanted to.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Koari probably will. There's almost no reason not to, right?
Yeah, like if you're here, like full clearing Lost Woods, you may as well full clear Goron City too, so you never feel like you have to come back. Like, it's only 3 chews, and it's a huge, like, a big deal off your mind. Like, you don't want to have to think about that going forward.
And just knowing that it's the kind of play that not everyone does. I think it's one of those things where, in a 1v1, those plays become a lot more tempting, I think. Because you kind of hit that point of, like, if my opponent doesn't do this and it has something, I could just win on the spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how much thought Koari's putting into this being a 1v1 exactly. I know, like, I was talking to him before the match, and he just said he's going to play his own game, and he believes in himself, so...
The flip side to that is, I know I talked to him at some point the other week, and he was talking about specifically watching one of Volc's matches to do some scouting, so... There's little bits in there for sure. And to be fair, I mean, honestly, maybe this is a harsh judgment, but like, if people really, really want to win their games, they probably should be scouting. There's so much information available. You can see what runners' tendencies are so easily.
Yeah, and it's like, even if they have a tendency to do something early that you might not do until late, if you go there late, like if you're just playing your own game and you go there late and you find an item that you could have used way earlier, then like maybe that gives you the signal to like, okay, like it's time to make a play then. And like even that information can be good. Even if you're settled on like just playing your own game, I think that sort of thing can still be important.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of it, is like, I think people go too far on the gambles. Like you were saying, I think the best thing is to play your own game. People should just play the way they normally do. But the more you know about your opponent, the more you know when to take risks. Maybe I'm biased. Metagaming is one of the few things I've actually been good at in this game.
Yeah, it looks like Koari is going for the Child Goron City, which is, I think, is an excellent play.
Yeah, no, I think this is absolutely going to be a big deal. If nothing else, it's also one of those things where Volc coming back for these checks later, potentially, is going to be slower. So if Volc does this later, it's worse for him. And if it has an item, it's worse for Volc. So in, like, there are a lot of scenarios where it works out well for Koari here, and very few where it works out really badly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully Koari knows the bomb chew strat so he can just do a full clear here. And it looks like Volc will be coming to CAC.
So, this is an interesting one to me. No Storms, Child Kakariko is not something you see super often. It's very out the way.
I think just thinking about the graveyard path, like it's likely maybe going to be Dompe. I guess he doesn't have Dompe time here. And very likely to be the song. So like, if the song is Nocturne, then like, okay, yeah, whatever. But like the song could be something like Storms, and then you're pretty much like never getting this song unless you do this play.
Yeah, fair. Also, Koari is like, in my mind, Koari's already won the race. I hate the fucking strength pot thing. And Koari just did it first try.
Oh, he did it with strength. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, just like goes up there, gets it perfectly, grabs the bomb, throw, done. Easy.
Yeah, I know there is a consistent way to do it, but I have never bothered with it. Yeah, the chew setup's easy, but wasting a chew, I don't know. Okay, Nocturne, that's not really a surprise.
Definitely ties into that. When are you ever coming back to get this otherwise? That
Yeah.
you were talking about?
I'm gonna set up for flame storage. Oh, jeez.
That jump. Okay, got
nice.
it, got it.
If he hit the door there, though, that would have been bad news.
Oh. I guess the flip side to Volc going here as child is now your best play is probably to go there as adult. I guess Volc got flame storage?
So I wonder what Volc's doing here now. I think he might do Field into Valley. Oh no, he's just taking the owl.
Is this a time of day?
Oh, yeah,
never mind. Changed his mind. Yeah. I guess the time of day is bad, so he went to do something different?
Yeah, I mean, like, Field Valley gets you 3 in logic checks, which would be good. I think he's honestly just reading this into waste time of day and then just going back adult.
Except now the owl's gone.
Okay. He's good. I think Field Valley is the correct play in this position, honestly. As much as I dislike Valley, I think it's correct here.
You know how everyone has like a terrible play they make in this game? That they're like, I overrate this and I know I overrate this, but I still do it. Hyrule Field Grottos, that's it for me. I love Field Grottos. They're such good checks.
Honestly, I think there's a top runner who's very into the Field Grottos as well. So you might not be on the wrong track, I guess.
More sticks is actually surprisingly helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely some resource cost in these settings. So just guaranteeing that you'll never have to worry about those is really nice.
Yeah. Okay, so left side Goron Maze is dead. That's good.
I don't know if you can, but
maybe like not so much, but maybe like you could tell something. I don't know. Hyrule Castle Queen Goma, that's a huge hint. that's massive.
Incredible, actually, yeah. Oh, the bomb bag.
What? Bombs, potentially? So, bomb bag in the middle of GTG, and a bomb bag there. I'm thinking, like, it's pretty likely there's an early hammer somewhere. There's still that third bomb bag.
Yeah, early hammer or a path bomb bag. Like you were saying earlier, Forest to Baronade, if they go and get a hook shot here, somewhere in, like, the Dongo's Cavern, then it could just be first bomb bag in Forest.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
That locks an item for Baronade.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. It kind of does make you second guess that, path to Baronade. It's like, okay, like if hammers are bomb locked, then the last bomb bag does have to be path. So, interesting. We get some bomb chew bowling before we go adult here, and I'd imagine Volc's just gonna go straight for DC.
Yeah, no, especially with the bomb bag, I can't imagine doing anything else now.
Yeah, even though it's not in logic, it's,
yeah.
I mean, most of it is. Most of the checks are, at least. But, actually, yeah, getting K-Sword and turning around probably makes more sense. Because even though that's not in logic, at least you're going to get a medallion out of it.
Mm-hmm. I guess the biggest question here is just the sequencing. Do you, while your child getting the Castle Fairy, do you then play Minuet and go straight to... Oh!
So, two strengths in logic.
Wait,
oh, wow.
But the spirit path to...
So, hook shot or bow strength 2 locked? It has to be, right?
Yeah, I guess it has to be...
Or, like, there could be something in Goron City Maze that's strength 2 locked. And,
it
like,
has to be
need...
2 locked in some way, yeah.
Yeah. I need a reboot?
That's a bow?
Oh. I don't...
The hook shot has to be the first chest in spirit, right?
So, like, okay, what I'm imagining here, because I've been in this situation before and predicted this correctly, but I think there's a hammer in Goron City Maze that leads you to your bomb bag, and then you get the bow, which leads you to K-Sword somehow.
That adds up.
Because, like, strength 2 for hammer in Goron City Maze is, like, pretty common. Like, it's, like, common to have the paths pointing to that.
Yeah, your strength 2, so you... But we saw the maze hint. We had a hint for Goron City Maze.
Only the left side. If you don't have a bomb bag,
but we don't have the bombs to go through the rest.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, that kind of... That's fun. That's spicy. It's either that or... hook shot on the first adult check in spirit, right? The silver rupees?
That's another possibility, yeah. It could be hook shot on really like any of these checks. Like any of the Goron City checks, I guess. And then that hook shot leads to, well, it wouldn't even have to lead. It would have to lock bomb bag somehow.
Yeah. This is going to be really interesting. I'm excited to see where this one goes because there are so few options, but all of those options are really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And we do also get the first big divergence out of this. Volc, I assume, here is just going, okay, it's just pointing to a bomb bag. I'm going to ignore that and take this out of Logic 1 and run with it. Koari, on the other hand, is following the hints a little more rigidly and is off to pick up that strength with Skull Mask.
Oh yeah, I guess, okay, going back to like when we were theorizing that the bomb bag could be in Forest Temple, a hookshot in Goron City Maze locking the bomb bag would make complete sense. And then Hammer's like somewhere locked behind everything.
So you get strength 2 to get a hook shot, to get a bomb bag, to get everything else. Yeah, that adds up. And you could swap Hammer and bomb bag in that as well. It could be Hammer and Forest to get your bomb bag.
Yeah, and then of course, like the bomb bag locking a path bow would make everything path to Phantom Ganon.
Yeah.
So yeah, so far logically having like all this partial info is super interesting. Looks like we're seeing a chickens play. Koari never picked up Nocturne, at least not yet, so coming here to check out what the song could be.
This is going to be really good, actually, because, yeah, now that he knows he has to do the Skull Mask,
yeah,
he gets to turn in the Keaton Mask, check chickens, pick up his Nocturne all at the same time. Just manages to chain a ton of things together.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really efficient for Koari.
But Volc, on the other hand, I do think there's a world where Volc here is making the correct play. That's the thing. I don't think it's as simple as it's going well for... Oh my god. Okay, never mind. It's going well for Koari.
Koari is on fire.
I was going to say, because the thing is, there is like this whole section of, oh, the logic could be this wild chain through. And honestly, at this point, probably is because of the hints.
Ooh, what's that? I didn't see. Is that magic?
I didn't get to see it, but...
If I didn't see it, I just assume it's magic. Because magic's like very dark and small and...
I was going to say, it depends on the colours they use, but yeah, it looks like Volc is very vanilla.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, Volc's just going to Goron City, wants to check out this maze.
Alright,
which makes sense. I mean, he knows that 2 strengths equals something.
Yeah.
At least as far as we know. I mean, like, there could just be a hookshot in spirit, but...
It's a really minor thing, but it really upsets me to see people blow up the boulders.
I know.
In that order. Like...
I stopped talking about it because it's not fixing anything.
Oh.
A wallet?
Okay,
That's
that
not... That's not helpful.
And not that one. Okay.
Okay, so it's probably just in spirit then.
Well, hookshot is the silver rupee room in spirit, probably. Unless, oh no, don't.
Hookshot on King Zor. That locks your letter in Forest Temple.
Yeah, that's Oh no, Koari. ran out in the doorway.
It's okay. I still like this because Koari bailed after one failed attempt. And
Yes.
I really agree with people doing that.
100%, yes. Do not go back and do it. Oh my god.
Unless you're like sure that something's there, but like I mean, it's Path the Bongo, you got Nocturne, like just let it go. You know, like it's not gonna be your magic. If it's Din's, then I don't know. You'll see fire arrows at some point, maybe you'll suss it out later, but like right now it's really not important. And probably not your path.
It's interesting because, like, yeah, with something like that, I'm just like, okay, cut your losses, move on. But then there are other plays we'll talk about where it's like, okay, once you commit to a gamble, stick to it. But that's not a gamble. That's just one strat, and if you don't get the fast strat, just move on. Whereas something like if you have a good play and a bad play available, and you take the bad play, and it gives you an item that opens up another area. You go to that other area, like, you commit to that gamble. So we did just see OoTR, which is always an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially ruling out the entire Garuda area for the entire seed, and I guess it can't in this case because water's a stone.
Yeah. Songs are hard. Don't laugh.
Plays like me. I was saying earlier with the memory game, I was like, damn, that's how I play Epona's song.
Oh no!
Oh no,
Koari! Stuck on the post. Alright, one last hint here. And it's a repeat. So I'd imagine this is going to be the DC dip now. Quick spins are also impossible.
I think it's interesting though. I don't know who's seen which hints now, but I think we're only missing like 3 hints at this point. They've been very aggressive, and we haven't even seen a river play.
Yeah.
They've been very aggressively picking up hints between field grottos and coming through this entire Death Mountain loop and picking up everything around that area. We've seen a lot.
Yeah, and they're
And
really,
it was
like,
magic.
sticking
You're right.
the logic. I guess like expanding on like like they haven't been to river yet. Like they're really just sticking to logic right now, which I think is good because the logic here is really interesting.
Yeah, there's like little bursts here and there. Like obviously Koari started doing the Skull Mask play. Time of day worked out badly, so has gone adult now. Volc has just kind of ignored all of that to go towards Dodongo's Cavern first. And that's just a thing of, okay, do you think the logic leads to the hook shot, or do you think the logic leads to the bomb bag? If it leads to the bomb bag, you ignore it. You just use those bombs that you would get through the hints to then actually do the plays you need to do. If you think it leads to the hook shot, well, you need to do it.
Yeah, I think maybe he like conceded on the strength 2 so easily because he figured like, oh, maybe it's just something in the maze. So like maybe he's just like, yeah, like whatever, it's fine, I'll just check the maze while I'm here anyway and hope it'll be okay.
Not really any big advantage. I guess Koari had a better warp here. He didn't have to go via Kakariko because of the hover boots.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, yeah, not going to be really much difference in terms of how this plays out for each runner. And yeah, for what it's worth, like, I definitely think it's too early to be like, oh, this is good for this person or bad for this person, because, like, on the one hand, yeah, Volk is further ahead in Dodongo's Cavern, Koari has hovers, but this entire logic chain that we've been talking about could still go either way, and there's so much room for things to change right now.
Yeah.
So, like, I would give a minor advantage to Koari at this point, but it's a minor one.
Mm-hmm. Big chest.
Nope. Not it. That's not your hook shot.
Does not have a shield, so can't go this way.
Oh. Also, 4 bombs left.
Yeah, I mean, he'll pick up some at the back. So
Yeah. I assume he'll get the double refill, but using 2 here. Those bomb counts could get dangerous this seed.
Yeah.
Especially if he is committing entirely to yes, the bombs are the actual like path of logic here, and whatever you need is just hidden behind bombs. Where was the other wallet? I don't remember.
Wallet land.
Was that what was in Mido's?
Yeah, Matos, yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So they're both available with the strength too then. That's important. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not trying very hard. I like the wings, that's cool. Oh, I don't like the continue backwalking when your angle is obviously incorrect.
Wait, was that... Oh no. Oh no. I was gonna say, I almost couldn't tell if that was intended. Like, it looked like a bail at some point, and... No, just a minor slip there. Pretty a major slip, actually, honestly. We've seen definitely a lot of runners lose a lot of time to falling off DC bridges before.
Yeah. Especially in Beta League.
Oh my god. For those who don't know, the league system that we ran had a couple of test seasons, and in one division, in one test season, 3 of the 4 runners lost races to falling off of the DC bridge.
So tragic.
It's like the 2nd division of 4 as well, like... Alrighty, Dodongo's Cavern really not paying out. This, I guess it's the bottle that you need to buy Blue Fire.
Yeah, that's true. And you can get there with a strength, so... Yeah, something to keep in mind at least. So it looks like Volk is going to start doing the trade quest here. Goron Maze wasn't very convincing with the wallet, and DC just kind of didn't pay off and get you anywhere, so probably best to just chase down this logic and see where it's pointing.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and also chickens.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think the strength 2 is in logic, right?
Child climb? Do you need
Yeah.
do you need
You
an
need-
adult projectile?
Which
For child
we...
climb?
we don't have an
We
adult
don't have a
projectile. Yeah, you're
logic.
right. The bow is out of logic. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay. That's the power I was missing.
So, like, the hook... For the strength 2 to be in logic, the hook has to be somewhere. It can't be in, like, the first 2 checks as adult. If it's the logical projectile, which at this case, or at this point it would have to be, because the bow is path and locked by bombs. So, I mean, like, I guess you could just find a bomb bag somewhere. But where would it be at this point? I guess, like... It's tough. Hard to say.
I'm really trying to figure out how the spirit logic will work with this now then, because it almost has to be hookshot in the first check in spirit, I think. I kind of struggle to see any other way around this between the bow being path and...
Yeah. So that would hard require a bomb bag.
Right. And then you can't get...
Yeah, maybe like open river grotto bomb bag. Or like any river check bomb bag.
Yeah, if there's just an available bomb bag really early somewhere, then that just absolutely opens up everything, and all of a sudden it's just like, okay, go to spirit, get your hook shot, go to forest to get probably letter orang.
Mm-hmm.
Adult River right now does seem like a really strong play. It also probably gets you the last hints you're missing, which...
Yeah. Yeah, I think right now it makes really good sense. Or I guess, okay. Actually, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Because
Like-
the bomb bag does get you an adult projectile, so the hookshot doesn't necessarily have to be in spirit.
Well,
Well,
the
yeah,
bomb bag,
never
yeah,
mind,
no, because
yeah.
the bomb bag would be enough to get you the strength 2 in logic.
Yeah.
At which point you
The
can go
strength 2
into
is just
spirit,
useful.
but spirit is path to Phantom Ganon, and by that point you have to have the bow and strength, so it has to be the hookshot in spirit.
Whoa, strength 2. Totally unexpected.
Yeah, who knew? Who knew? I really hoped Volc would just find a rupee in the grass as he was walking through there.
So Koari warped back up here to get a skull.
And I think that was Koari's first check of the maze there, yeah. Curious where he's going now, though, because from that point I thought he would have been leaving.
Well, he hasn't actually been into the maze.
Oh, right. I thought he came
Yeah.
up. Oh, I guess he didn't mean to fall, wanted to grab the edge and just... I do like the wings. The wings are cool.
Yeah, they're really nice.
They're doing the peak here as well, which it's going to be like, oh, 2 big chests. Wow, that's worth it.
Oh, Koari. It's okay, at least we get some quality time with Dark Magician Girl.
Just up close to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Volc having just enough chews left to get the fast strat on this. Manages to hit the rolling Goron with the chew with 1 left over. If Volc doesn't go to... Wait, Volc's been to Spirit, right?
He's been a child spirit, yeah.
So, has he just burned through that many chews already?
It's a good question.
He's got 1 left. He didn't grab the 2 chests. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, but he's gonna go back.
I don't know. Grabbing the skulls, maybe?
He got the one in the lobby at the start.
Or maybe he's coming back for the keys that he left behind.
I think it's the Firelocks checks, yeah.
Oh, he bailed on Strength 1, didn't go past that room, so
Yeah.
he's gonna do a little...
I think he's here for the Firelocks ones.
Some deeper digging here, just in case, I guess, like, you can only get 1 check as adult, and it might not be a key.
Yeah, it's just a very, I don't know, costly play to make.
Yeah.
You've already been all the way through this, you're coming back in again now to do it again, and it might not lead to anything. For all you know, these checks might just be absolutely useless.
Koari's setting nighttime.
We haven't seen a richer check yet, have we?
No.
That could be the bomb bag. Or a hammer.
And he has Nocturne, so he'll be checking Dompe as well. Dompe could also have the bomb bag.
Yeah, this is a couple of really good Sphere Zero checks available. For anyone new to this, Sphere Zero just means it's available from the start of the game. But yeah, Koari getting a couple of, you know, very easy early checks that could just clear up a lot of the logic here.
Yeah, I think at this point, like, you're just trying to figure out, like, okay, what is the first step here? Because, like, something's missing.
Yeah, it's like, you've got, like, a section in the middle. We haven't got the start and we haven't got the end. But we've got this, like, little bubble in the middle where it's like... And then you get your bombs, which get you your bow. Which somehow get you your Kokiri sword.
Although, like, I guess thinking about it, finding your bomb bag isn't really a priority right now. Like, you...
I think it's if it's hammer. If it's hammer...
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Never mind.
Okay, well, there it is.
Never mind. Alright. Everything's cleared up, so now you get your bow from Hyrule Castle. That also gives you strength 2 in logic, which now means you can go to Spirit to get your hook shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I think he's gonna grab his strength 2. He's gonna waste some time of day, and then go back adult to grab his hook shot, and we'll probably see some Force Temple.
There is still the world where it's King's Aura for the hookshot. That is still an option.
Yeah, that's true.
But you do that after Spirit. Like, you always check Spirit first, right?
Yeah. Well, if that were the case, then what would be in Spirit?
The strength 2 to get into them. Oh, no, because we've got bombs. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, it has to
Ignore
be.
me. It has to just
it's okay. I literally just made the same mistake like 10 minutes ago, so I can't say anything. That's why there's 2 of us. Koari is really struggling to find the grotto here. It can be kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, especially when you're getting shot at the entire time.
You just kind of have to align yourself with the middle of the tunnel there. Okay,
Oh.
there it goes. Okay.
So yeah. Volk didn't pick up that bomb bag. Also, just as a side note, I don't think the Kakariko path is relevant at all. I think it's already covered.
Yeah, I also think so.
We got Requiem there. Requiem was the start of this entire chain. Your hammer being anywhere in the seed at this point is locked behind Requiem, basically. Also hovers.
And hovers.
Also, we got hovers from chickens as well.
Yeah, like, CAC has paid out. I probably would just focus on finding the point in these paths where you can start doing progression and then just start doing progression.
Yeah.
And
And
that
I
point
think-
should be literally right here.
Yeah, I think Volk is on that path. And also, we mentioned Koari earlier being like, I think it's the right move to bail on flame storage if you get it wrong, and then he came back for it, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, you have magic, or, like, yeah, you have
Yeah.
magic already. You have the hovers, which could be, like, that could have been the path before you had hovers. Otherwise, like, you're just gonna get fire arrows if it's dins. Like, it's not... I mean, I guess, like, having the dins now is a big deal when you're about to go to hook shot, so...
Yeah, I get why he's doing it, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think ever going back to do flame storage is the right play.
I guess since
Unless
he's
it's-
already here for Dompe, it's not the worst thing, but... Like, it's a long walk through the grave.
Yeah, it's like, if you're going to come back when you're checking Dampe, why wouldn't you have gone back when you failed it the first time? I guess that's my thinking
true.
on it.
And hookshot? Yeah.
Right
Wow.
on you.
We're so smart.
It's shocking.
So yeah, gonna see our first dip into Forest Temple here, which is Path to Baronade. So gonna see an item here, which is not a bomb bag or a scale, which is pretty nice. I mean, it could be a scale if something's on like diving the lab, but should not
Yeah.
be a bomb bag or a scale. I mean, it literally can't be a bomb bag.
Yeah, it has to be letter boomerang or something that leads to letter or boomerang.
Yeah.
We're finally free of the Hyrule Castle to Goma? I mean, I guess Kakiri Sword could be here and then something in Deku Tree for Baronade would make a lot of sense as well, with Hyrule Castle to Goma being the bow.
Mm-hmm.
I can already tell where the seed is going to end up, though, with that. You find your Kakiri Sword somewhere in Forest, or you find, like, the letter in Forest. You end up doing this small chain of items, and then at the end of the seed, you're just like, okay, now I just need the boomerang, or dins, or hammer, or whatever it is, and all of your hints are exhausted, and half the game is open. Koari, on the other hand, by the way, checking River here, which is not... I mean, we wanted to see it. It's probably not what he wants to be doing right now, but...
He needs to waste time of day, so it's either this or Valley. And I think this is better than Valley.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%.
Having a bean for the river and a bean for lake, I would imagine. Although he should know that he's getting the hook in like a second here. But spirit key logic is a little tough to work out. So.
And I guess it could be another item leading to hooks. So.
That's true.
I don't hate it. Like, I know it's so unlikely, but if it was, say... I guess, actually, your hook can't be locked behind 2 items at this point, basically. Because normally I would say Shadow, but they actually just have everything for Shadow except Dins.
Yeah.
I will say, I know this is like... Anyone who's watched these restreams before will be used to this. We're probably going to be very focused on Koari's side for the next 10 to 20 minutes, barring whatever big chest item Volc finds, because Forest Temple is just kind of the same thing every time. So...
Yeah, he's just gonna go through, he's gonna push blocks and shoot stuff. It's gonna be real cool.
Nothing relevant in River in terms of items, which I guess we kind of expected by this point. 50 dead. So we only are missing a Frogs 2 hint. No. You can salvage the chicken if you're lucky, but it's, yeah, no, not there. Oh, big chest. There we go.
Right, let's see it. Hammer! Cool. So
hold on.
Let's go to Fire Temple.
Yeah, I guess.
Pretty deep, logically, I guess. Like, it's locked by, like, bombs, hook, bow... Maybe not bow. Yeah, bow. No, not bow. It's at the same time as bow. Yeah, that's locked by, like, bombs and hook. So, like, hammer has to point at something that is directly, like, or, like, hammer locked and not bomb locked. If that does end up being the path, so...
Yeah, which I can only assume means you do the rest of Forest, see if you just get another item, and if you don't, you just go and clear out Fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need to do it anyway, Medallion Dungeon, so you're going to go beat Fire, but then if you don't find anything, you keep going, because there's not much else that's hammerlocked. It's Gerudo Valley, and I guess you check the Crater Ferry on the way in, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Valley is, you know, logically unavailable at this point. Ooh! Koari finishing the diving game with a second left. Like...
A little spooky.
That was... yeah. That was a dangerous one. Also, yeah, Requiem has to lock the hook shot, which, in every way, but also
have to lock the other hook shot.
Right, Spirit Path of Phantom Ganon means that you just the hook shot locks the hook shot.
Yeah, so Requiem does lock both hook shots. Sorry, there's a cat. Because yeah, you can't get a Pono song without both hook shots as well. So.
But knowing the water's a stone, how much do you care about that? Like, I think you avoid the Gerudo area for as long as you can in the seed. I think it's just...
Oh, yeah.
Unless you get the long shot by chance, it's just not a good play.
Yeah, 100%. I don't really care about that information at all. Hook shot locks long shot. That's about it. I think you just chase down the things that you know are path to something that you actually need right now. And then, I mean, if it comes down to it, like, you could think, like, well, my long shot has to be somewhere out there, so, like, maybe GTG's a play, although probably not. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, I think if you get to the point where you've run out of, like, useful paths, you beat Forest, you get nothing else, you go beat Fire, you get the Boomerang, and then you're like, okay, I don't have the letter. I still don't think you go over to the Gerudo area. I think you do, like... I think you would do valley checks before that point, like the waterfall and the ledge. I think you'd be going off to all these like little isolated things here and there. Because, yeah, they could be long shot, but they could also just be letter. And your long shot could just be buried away at the end of the seed. For all we know in this seed, your long shot could be in Ganon's castle. And you're never meant to go to the Gerudo area.
Yeah.
I do think Upper Spirit would be a good one for the clearing out locations. Obviously, they're leaving immediately with the hook shots, so we probably won't see much of it. Did Koari instinctively go in to check that chest first? Or was it, do you think?
Both did, actually, when they came in
here.
They both checked that chest first. Which is kind of funny, because like, the other one's going to be the hook shot. You may as well just do the other one first.
Yeah, I missed it on Volc's side, but yeah. I guess it takes longer to get out of this room, but...
That's true, yeah. Yeah, nothing else in force. It's looking like it's probably just going to be the hammer at this point. There's 2 more checks, so I'm not sure if we've seen the boss key. I wasn't really paying too much attention, honestly.
Good old Forest Temple. Yeah, no, I think at this point, like, it's pretty clear to say that Volc has the advantage now. All the same items, and is most of a Forest Temple ahead.
Yeah.
So from here, I guess you go to Fire immediately. Do you do Crater Fairy on the way in, or after you beat it?
I think, like, what I would do is I would go in, get to the boss key, kill Volv. If I haven't found an item by that point, I would go to Crater Fairy before going back in. But
yeah,
I would definitely go kill Volv first, because killing Volv is required, and it's going to bring you to the same point anyway, so...
Yeah, for sure. And actually, now that I think about it, we do know that the Burning Kakariko's song is Song of Storms. So there's a reasonable chance that the Forest to Baronade is for the hammer to get the medallion.
That's a fair point. Yeah, if you find Dins, you can just rush down Shadow.
Yeah, Koari closing in on his hammer here. That's on the Floor Master. And I'm trying to think now, because there were a bunch of things earlier where we said, oh, if Volc comes back to do this, he's going to lose some time on it. And I think he went back and did most of them.
Yeah.
But he's still ended up ahead right now. I'm trying to think what else there is that he could lose time on.
Like River Domain. That's largely...
Yeah.
It's like most of the checks that Koari has done over Volc. There's Dompe as well, Richard.
I was going to say, I didn't think Volc had done Richard, which is surprising, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I think like maybe like if he was able to come to the same conclusion that we were, that like the first step in this logical chain is just a bomb bag, then at that point you're just like, okay, well, like now I just need to know what the next step is. Like I don't really care about bomb bag, right?
Yeah, and I definitely think from the way that Volc's been playing, that's the conclusion that he's come to, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I have a really bad habit of like letting my curiosity get the best of me and just thinking like, okay, like, well, like where is this first step in logic? Like, and then like once I find it, I'm like, oh wait, this doesn't, like, knowing this doesn't help me.
I think it's worked out really well for Volc, because obviously when we were talking about this earlier, I was saying, oh, there's the potential that it's the hammer to get the bomb bag in the field grotto, and at that point you're still worried about it because you need the hammer. But the way that Volc has played this, to go and get the hook shot, follow it through to Forest and find the hammer there, now Volc knows for certain that he does not need to worry about that first step in the logic.
Volc was going for the gamer strat there, didn't quite get it, but there is a strategy for Phantom Ganon where you can just basically never let him get up and fly around. It's pretty nice. Been very hard to pull off.
Honestly, a really good fight.
Yep.
In spite of missing that as well. Like, once you miss that strat, Phantom Ganon can cause some big problems, and yeah, still worked out really well.
Tanjo coming in with the raid. Thank you, Tanjo. Welcome.
You're joining us for the losers bracket round 1 action. A very weird logic seed today, but it's mostly around a bomb bag early and everything it would lead to. It's mostly cleared up at this point, I think. And so Volc with, I would say, a sizable lead at this point, but not an insurmountable one.
Also, as far as the logic goes, it was like weird until it wasn't weird. Like it was weird when we were like, oh, there's a strength in spirit, like that's so weird. And then like it was just like, oh, okay, there's a hook in spirit. Like nothing's actually weird.
Yeah, the
Path
weirdest
the Bongo's
part
dog turn, Path the like Bulbagia locked literally the whole seed.
I think the weirdest part of all of this has probably just been Hyrule Castle to Goma being a bow.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the part that's still a bit odd.
Yeah,
but,
that is definitely a strange one.
Yeah, most of it kind of cleared itself up pretty neatly.
Sorry, people walking around on the blocks always freaks me out. If you walk around on the block too much, like
void.
walking towards the wall, yeah, you'll just void out. I don't know if you can do it on the second one. I think it's maybe only the first one that you can do it on, but it's just it freaks me out.
The forest ceiling having weird collision. So I will say I was kind of back and forth between the two sides, so I didn't really see Koari's route through forest. Did he do Floor Master into Courtyard? Because it took him a long time to go from the Floor Master to the boss key chest, but...
I think so.
I think it was because he did Courtyard second, which... Okay, that I think is good, but otherwise that was a surprisingly long route around.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he did Floor Master into Courtyard, which is fun.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, I think pretty good.
It's a little unusual. But I don't think it's slower, so it's just something you don't really see.
Yeah, fair.
Alright, we're about to see our first couple checks here in fire. Is something wrong with me? Like, people are... I don't know. No. It sounded like really, like... I was, like, really down on myself. There's been, like, a RIP Drew, and, like... Drew.exe has stopped working.
You cut out for, like, half a second, or... I don't know if you just stopped talking or cut out, but yeah.
No, I don't mean like me as a person. I mean like me as in.
I also assume it's because
voice.
when you mute, you don't show up on the restream anymore.
Oh, okay,
So-
yeah. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so I'm like muting whenever I like cough and stuff.
I've done the same a couple of times, but sometimes I hit the button on the mic, so. I would actually this seed would benefit so much from like you know, they clear out, they get light arrows in Spirit Temple and it's mirror locked and you just have to find the mirror. Like right now this seed would benefit from an item hunt, and it's weird for me to say that because I hate item hunt seeds.
Yeah, honestly, like, yeah, I agree. Like, I just want this seed to do something.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this seed looks like it's going to be really cool, really interesting logic, and oh, well, actually, it's kind of linear, but there's still like some potential, and I think most of that potential right now is just
What
wrapping
Bowlock
around.
check is gonna have cookers or
Yeah, like bow led to hammer, which no, bow didn't lead to hammer. Sorry, that was on the Floor Master. Bow led to... No, bombs led to hookshot. Ignore me. I was thinking adult projectile again. Bow hasn't led to anything.
bow letter. Yeah, just like wrap the bow around the arrow and fire it into King Zora's fat mouth.
Jesus.
Eat that. Actually, it's funny because every time I hold up the letter, I'm like, eat this. So nothing in forest or fire so far.
What else is bow locked?
Like GTG. Maybe the boss key in fire.
Yeah, I was going to say
Possibly.
going further into fire could be.
Shooting gallery's done.
Water temple's a big one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Volc, there's that hover across just frustrates me because
It's
you like
fine, but like you have to recognize when you missed it. Like
right, which that's the issue. That's the part that's difficult. Oh, 0 bombs for fire?
yeah.
That is a dangerous place to be.
Especially with a key on shortcut. I'm not sure. Does he still have that one shoe left?
Maybe, yeah. Hopefully, I guess for him. So, yeah.
If he can get up to the upper maze, then at least there's like a couple bomb drops up there.
Mm. Or if
But
he has, if Volc ever has to go back to the start near Volvagia, then there's the ones there. And
okay.
so
Well, let's
hammer
just
to
keep
pins
going.
All right, to shadow to get your
Storms.
storm. To go to bottom of the well to.
Hooray.
The whole thing just chains, and somewhere through that, it's still not bow locked. The end of shadow is.
Yeah.
Kokiri's sword can just be in bottom of the well.
No, it's not bow locked. He has 2 keys.
The end of shadow is.
Oh, shadow. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Shooting down the statue. If you don't get the long shot before that point. Yeah, if the long shot is locked behind like a letter in bottom of the well, then yeah. That's all bow locked.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, you absolutely just go and beat Shadow after this, see where your logic takes you, and if there's nothing there, follow that through to bottom of the well and see where your logic takes you, and...
I know you probably appreciate the more linear than FF13.
FF13 did everything to deserve that.
Hiddy and Decker are...
the only FF13 fans ever, damn.
I wasn't gonna call it. I just straight up said his name.
I called out Decker earlier today on that one, kind of. So.
Oh god.
On the bright side, Koari's nearly done with Forest.
Yeah, so he'll be going into fire.
Yeah, I was going to say, so we'll have less of the, you know, kind of autopilot sleep mode, except then he'll just follow Volc into fire, and then into shadow, and then into bottom of the well.
Yeah. Unless they find both Jabu items in shadow. And then they'll both go to Jabu instead.
Okay, so the interesting point would be if they found the letter in shadow, because then you actually have a choice. Do you do ice or do you do bottom of the well?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the actual interesting choice there.
I think you would just do bottom of the well, though. But...
I think you always do. Yeah, you just always... You're going child to turn in the letter anyway. You do bottom of the well while you're there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a situation that would actually open us up to... Like, maybe if you found letter and long shot, then it's like, oh, like, what do I do now? Hey,
it's just an awkward one. The only item that shakes up anything in all of this, I think, is if you find, like, the long shot on the way. But, like, otherwise this is just going to be a straight line.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate for Koari. Like, he's really hoping for a fork in the road somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. The light arrows locked somewhere behind long shot would be the saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily long shot, but towards the end of the game, you're hoping for something, some item hunt for long shot or mirror shield to really throw things off.
Yeah. Oh god, imagine like an HBA light arrow.
Yeah, no, I actually think getting, like I say, if you got the hint for Spirit Temple or... Yeah, I don't know, like Gerudo Training Grounds or whatever, what would be more interesting? But then, yeah, you're like, your first stop is going to be to check Ganon's at that point, and then it's... okay, what do I have available? What's left? And that's what Koari's hoping for, right? It's like that moment of, oh god, what's my next play? What can I even do here?
Yeah. Also, as far as key count goes, just because I've seen it brought up in chat, I think between Volve, Hammer, and Pierre, there's one key left.
Wait, with the bottle's pot of greed? I missed that.
Are they actually?
That's so good!
Oh, that's way too
Oh my
tight for me to
God.
see. That is...
Oh, that's actually
That's
incredible.
Very clean Volve fight. See, I don't even think we're gonna see a Creative Fairy here. I think we're just going straight to Shadow Temple.
Yeah, you can Bolero back to Creative Fairy if you have to.
Mm-hmm. And if you find like a letter or something in Shadow, I mean, you can just turn in the letter, and then like if you want to go ice at that point, you can just Bolero to ice, and like there's gonna be plenty of opportunities to check Creative Fairy.
Yeah, I think at this point you've just got too much direction. You want to go and beat Shadow, it's a medallion. There's a ton of checks that you're going to have to do regardless because you have to look for the keys. So you might as well just go there. The cost of playing Bolero again to come back here is so low that I think...
And I think you just may as well go and do the Creative Fairy.
I understand doing it, but I don't think I would. I would be straight to Shadow at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
I would probably consider checking it before going Child. If you're going straight to Bottom of the Well or Ice Cavern or whatever after Shadow, I would consider doing this before save resetting out to go back to Templar Time. But, you know, I get doing it here.
Stin's not Hammerlock.
Ins. I don't remember where the first keys were. Was there a key in the boss key chest?
Boss key, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So there's one key so far.
Which I think was...
Koari. Oh, okay, this is just a loop around.
Oh wait, Koari
Preserve
got...
health.
Yeah. Was there a key in the chest?
So if there's a key on the other side here, then I guess... Yeah, it's not Hammerlock. But I mean, I think you're still playing for Storms, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, so I guess, yeah, you never ran out of keys in Fire.
Interesting.
So I guess it wasn't hammerlocked. That's...
So there doesn't
surprising.
necessarily have to be an item in Shadow, but you're probably still playing towards Bottom of the Well. Like, Fire's done, you don't want to climb...
It was a key in the chest near Volve, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's surprising then. Cool.
Yeah, the only thing that hasn't been a key so far is Flare Dancer.
That doesn't add up. Then there are 5 keys. Little 5 chests.
1, 2, 3, 4. Keys.
Oh yeah, no, he's used 2. Never mind, I'm forgetting there's... Yeah, ignore me, I'm forgetting a door.
No, yeah, understandable. The doors in this place are in such weird spots.
It's the one at the end of the lava room that gets me. I'm just like, why is it there?
Ooh, nice little jump.
Oh, first try. I see people mess that one up so much, and it's so costly to get wrong.
Yeah, I think a couple weeks ago, Koari was putting in a bunch of time onto that strat specifically. I think it's really nice.
It's a good one. And I've kind of always said, like, I think learning dungeon strats is the way to go for most of practice in, like, OoTR. Because, yeah, you can learn, like, cool strats for things like, you know, and one that came to mind was, like, the Gerudo Valley hover and things like that. But how often are you checking the valley ledge? Like, how often are you actually going down to get the item there? Dungeons? You're always doing dungeons. There's a 2/3 chance that you have to beat a dungeon in a seed. So, like, dungeon strats are so much more efficient to learn because they come up more often.
Yep. I can agree with that. And that's why you should learn every forest temple strat.
That's why people should learn crate skip and Jabu as well.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's like the most... Oh my god. I promise at some point, by the end of this tournament, I'll have stopped talking about it.
No, you
But it's actually free, and people should just do it.
in 3 months, you're gonna be in Germany talking about it. We're all gonna be having drinks in Germany, and you're just gonna be bitching about this fucking Jabu box.
I can't wait until I meet, like, some, like, I'm not going to name names here, but we've had some conversations about this Jabu box, where some people are just really bad at it. And I'm just like, I can't wait to meet them and just be like, okay, mash this button for me, show me how fast you mash.
Oh, mashers.
It's easy. Anyways.
So we really have not found anything in Shadow here.
No, there's been nothing so far, so... Good number of keys, though, yeah.
I wonder if Koari's gonna go for a full clear, or full-ish clear. A skill
That one... Not
I mean,
super.
nothing. We're not on the path to Baronade right now, I guess.
Yeah. Don't think we are we?
No, we're just chilling in Shadow, which has a million checks anyway.
Are we on the path to Hyrule Castle?
To Goma? No. Cause
That one, sorry. The Hyrule Castle to Goma, yeah. But
Magic's free, hovers are free, Dins is blocked by hovers and hook, not bow.
Yeah, it wasn't bow locked. None of Shadow yet is. Not until the very end.
Yeah, just bongo.
Yeah.
If we don't have a long shot by that point.
But yeah, so far at least for Shadow, this isn't part of any of the paths. I guess we only have 2 paths left to fulfill, but it's not on either of them, I guess I should say instead then.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's see if Koari will go to Hammer Chest from here.
Oh, sorry, I missed the post about the crate skip thing. Essentially, it is just free. It's low risk. There is absolutely 0 risk to doing crate skip. If you miss it once, you don't lose time. If you miss it twice, you do. But if you just mash quickly, you will get it. It's honestly mashable. But
It's
also,
very mashable,
even without that, the timing for it isn't bad. Like, I've told people to learn it, and within 10 minutes they've been doing it, whether by mashing or by Drew telling them the timing. And yeah, the inputs for it are basically the same as B1 skip. That's why it's come up so much. I think people just don't practice it. I think that's the big thing. People see it as difficult, so they don't learn it because they go, oh, the normal strat isn't that like slow, so I'm not going to bother learning it. And so because people don't learn it, they get it wrong, and so it kind of perpetuates this idea that it's a really difficult trick where it's honestly not. Oh no, Volc.
That's so unfortunate. But what is fortunate, at least, is he was doing this to try to save on bombs and then ended up getting a bomb drop, so that's pretty nice. Oh, that one almost didn't.
Nearly.
Just danced on the rim there for a sec. I just don't see where there's effort involved in learning it. Honestly.
I guess there is, but like it takes 10-20 minutes to learn it, right? Like at most. To be consistent with it, I would say it takes like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think the important part of that is, like I say as well, the reason we got onto this was I think it's more important to learn dungeon time saves than it is to learn overworld ones. If the Valley Ledge, if you can grab the Valley Ledge item with hovers and a recoil as adult, that saves you a phenomenal amount of time. But it comes up 1 in every 100 seeds. Whereas beating Jabu comes up in 2/3 of seeds. Like
Also,
in a single... Go on, sorry.
I don't really want to get into like why I'm suggesting this, but learn your gold scale water stats.
Also that. Gold scale water is huge as well, yeah.
Very important. You can save yourself an entire item requirement, and that's honestly just massive.
Yep. No, genuinely, like, the thing with the crate skip as well is it's low effort to learn, comes up in, like, almost every... Like, if it's coming up in 2/3 of seeds, that's already a big deal. And it genuinely is one of the, like, easiest tricks to learn in this game. People learn the most wild stuff and then don't know how to crate skip, and it baffles me because I've seen people learning the strat. So this is one that's come up recently with a lot of, like, I know it came up about a year ago because Floosh was doing it, and it's kind of spread to a bunch of the top runners, but there was a strat to go into Deku Tree to, like, there's like an easy version and a hard version where you go through the web, you kill the skull as you drop through the web, and then you pick up the skull and grab the ledge as you climb out the water. And that's way more difficult than crate skip ever will be. And also barely saves any time over the stick recoil. Even if you're doing the jump slash and then land in the water, climb up, grab the skull, as opposed to using the bomb drop to kill it, it still doesn't save that much time. It's wild to me that people put in so much time and effort learning absurdly difficult tricks that never come up, and don't learn something that comes up all the time that is easy, even if it doesn't save much time. Anyways, end of rant. I'll try to avoid crate skip for the rest of at least today, and maybe the next couple of times I'm on comms.
Yeah, I guess very cool Bomb Chew Volve there from Koari. He almost ran out of health at the end there, but pulled it off.
Yeah,
it was very clean and quick.
The fire breath definitely was a bit spooky.
Yeah, and Koari's going to be following into Shadow, just about a shadow behind.
Shadow's a pretty long dungeon, but...
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes, I think, including Volve, like 15 to 17, depending on where you stand skill-wise.
Yeah, Volc killing the floor master here, and then has Bongo left and kind of the path in. I will genuinely say with the box, like with the Jabu crate skip thing, I would, practicing it, I genuinely think it's mashable. I do have apparently a reputation at this point for being good at mashing, but I know we've had the joke, the in-joke with this is that there was one time where someone asked to learn it and I was like, just mash, and they couldn't get it. So I was like, I don't know the timing because I just mash. And Drew was like, I time it. I was like, okay, what's the timing? And Drew was like, I have no idea how to describe this. It's like, buh. And so it was Zephyr tried it and got it first try with that. Drew just going like, buh. Zephyr's like, okay, buh. Hey, I got it.
It was literally like he did it, and then he got it like 3 times in a row. Then he's like, "Wow, this is like literally free," and then he failed it. It's like, stop. Oh, so close to the 1 cycle bongo. Okay, bongo's
What's your bongo song? Your bongo songo?
It's honestly, it's Start Dash, but like, I don't even know the song. I've listened.
Mine is Take On Me.
Take On Me's a good one. Skater Boy's a really good one, but for some reason mine is Start Dash.
I can't believe you're doing OoTR practice and AMQ practice at the same time, Dan.
It's true, yeah.
If you learn Start Dash, you learn how to fight Bongo, and if you fight Bongo, you'll learn Start Dash.
But like, I don't even hear like the actual version of the song. I hear like the stupid little version that plays off her phone. Like, I don't even know if I've ever heard the actual song. I know like the hey, Start Dash. Okay, so we're done with Shadow. Didn't find anything in there.
Yep. We've chat done. We move on to dungeons now.
It's not part of
non-progression.
The path, so I mean, it's not like entirely surprising we didn't find anything there, even though it is Shadow. But we're probably gonna go to bottom of the well here.
It's just a straight line to bottom of the well, isn't it?
Yep.
Do you ever go and check the
Sun Song Grave?
I was gonna say Death Mountain Trail, Storm's Grotto as adult first.
Oh.
Because it's faster to get there as adult, but you kind of want to do it after bottom of the well, typically.
Yeah, like it's past the Baronades, so like, I mean,
but
like,
it could also...
yeah, it could be long shot, but
it could also be Kokiri Sword.
That's true, but if it's Kokiri Sword, like you're gonna check it as child anyway. It's not so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess like going up there as child isn't the worst thing. It's just not ideal.
Also, yeah, Sun Song Grave is dead, so I don't even know why I brought that up. I mean, obviously, I don't ever remember sometimes since, even when I'm playing. Alright, we're running.
Oh, because Volc... Wait, hasn't checked Richard yet.
Right, so...
Kind of forgot about that.
So gonna go set time of day here in Hyrule Castle. Gonna check Dompe as well.
Makes sense, yep. And then do this into bottom of the well. This is... I mean, it's worked out very efficiently. The fact that the bomb bag wasn't hard required has worked out. Obviously, if you swap the hammer and the bomb bag in this seed, Volk is in a lot of trouble. But, I mean, at that point, the plays change, right? Volk played the seed in front of him, and it's kind of getting paid out for it here.
Yep.
The biggest fork in the road at this point would be... Honestly, it would be light arrows. It would be... So I'm thinking, like, it has to be something behind long shot or mirror shield, right? Pretty much. Like, oh, we've run out of stuff to do. You have to find an item. But if it's, you know, right now you go into bottom of the well. Say you find the letter there, and that's your path to Baronade done. Well, then your only choice is ice, so you go to ice. And if you find Kokiri's sword there, then that's the Hyrule Castle path done. And so you go to Deku Tree. And at some point there, you have to find... Like, after that, I guess, is where you have options. So maybe the boomerang is somewhere bad, but there's not much left at that point. The only time there are locations left is if Ganon's Castle is open, I think. So I think it has to be light arrows that give Koari, like, a real... big turning point to work with. Volk at 17 skulls right now as well.
So yeah, I guess he'll finish up the 20 while he's here. So that works out pretty nicely too.
That's really efficient skull routing. This has been really, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
And the fact that it's all changed so nicely here, saying about, you know, checking Richard and Dampe late, and then getting to 20 skulls as you come here to do bottom of the well. This has all changed so neatly, and it does feel like it's kind of a little bit lucky in that regard. And at the same time, that's really efficiently routed. Like, this has been so well planned out by Volk. And I assume what this has been isn't lucky routing so much as I'm going to route it this way, assuming these things will happen. And if they don't, here is the failsafe. Like, here's the backup plan. So I assume Volk had a plan for if he'd run out along the way. But, like, he didn't. The chain just led to this, and so his routing has worked out perfectly.
Yeah, that's something that's like really important when it comes to routing and decision making. Like most of the time you're not really making a decision on the fly based on like some item that's thrown in your face. It's important to think like 4 steps ahead, and then like once you find an item, like recalculate and just be like, okay, like is that still my best play? And this is clearly something that like he's had planned in advance for a little while. Like not much has changed since they were in Fire Temple, basically. Or like even Forest Temple. Like you go to Forest, you find Hammer, it's like, okay, well now that's my best play. You find Dins in Fire, okay, well now that's my best play. Like,
and like this definitely hasn't been like a quick thinking seed. You know, you do get some where you get an item and you immediately have to adjust and be like, do I continue? Do I leave? Like, what's my play? Where do I go? This hasn't been one of those. The items have come part way through a medallion dungeon, so you just finish your dungeon. You have that time to think.
Yep.
This has definitely been a seed for more of the planning side and less of the instinct side.
We got 2 big chests so far. None of them opened, but we have seen them.
I'm gonna at least run on the assumption that there's a Kokiri sword down here. The bow was needed to beat Shadow. Oh my god, there's so much.
I like there being a lot of big chests in here, because that could mean we're making decisions soon.
Yeah, true.
As long as we don't find absolutely everything, then it's okay.
Yeah, we'll get a long shot and a letter, but no boomerang. That would be amazing.
That would be really good.
Actually, that would, yeah, that, now that I think about it, that's probably the big decision. If you get both long shot and letter, and you've got the Gerudo area open, and you've got Ice Cavern open. A fire as well.
Cool. Din's locked.
Nope. Yeah. Not any fire checks. I guess we have the wasteland, but it's out of logic anyway, so there's just nothing even ignoring the dins. Like, well,
so,
doesn't look like we're going to get many decisions here.
I guess not. Unless it comes down to, like, I don't know, between, like, ice and spirit. Another,
Oh my
like,
God.
who cares?
There has to be something here. What else is there? This is, like, the only thing locked by the hammer. There has to be something here.
Well, the hammer isn't... Oh, yeah, the hammer's path to Baronade, yeah. What if it's, like, the hammerlock chest in GTG?
Then you have to get long shots. I guess long shots somewhere to go over and do hammer rocks and training grounds.
Yeah, and it could just be, like, in spirit.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, it's like, do you just go spirit? Do you go to GTG?
Yeah, we do still have the grottos as well, actually. That's true, yeah. And frogs. I think of frogs as a grotto.
Yeah, it's basically a
honorary
hole
storms
that you
grotto.
sink your time into.
We still don't have Frogs 2 hint. I think that's the only one we're missing. At least I don't have it written down.
50 hint, I think.
I
Or no,
think Koari's
50's double
full
defense.
50.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
double defense. I'm playing it up for chat. They want to say boobs.
50 is the bat chest. I'm so scared that people are going to keep using the bat chest emote and a check is going to get named bat chest. I'm so scared.
Well, what about this one in the well? The locked pits. Isn't that the bat chest?
It does make sense. It's the one with the most bats around it, but like, no, we're not doing that. We're not. Please, no.
Listen, come to Majora's Mask. We all know what the bat chest is there.
Yeah, aren't they actually just called like Big Bat as well?
I think it's called Bad Bats. Yeah.
Oh, Bad Bat. Okay.
So the well's dead.
Nothing. All right, storms. It's got to be. I swear to God, if it's just like long shot on, I don't even know. Long shot wildly off somewhere isolated. Yeah,
oh, no,
just sitting on the valley ledge.
Because the other one is.
Oh,
because the hook
course,
shot's
yeah, it has to
path.
be hook locked. Yeah, you're right.
But it could be something something else smart. Hook locked in spirit. There you go.
Yeah, either way, if the long shot is just sitting somewhere irrelevant off in the distance, and then it's hammer rocks and like training grounds bow locked for the 2 remaining paths, I'm actually mad. Like I'm so mad at the scene.
Yeah, that'd be pretty boring.
There's also the fact that it's like it's linear, but also okay. The like 5th major item behind storms, but our 5th useless major item behind storms. Oh my God. This hurts. This actually hurts.
Okay, so maybe like Koari did all of like river and domain and like found nothing. Maybe he's feeling like, hey, why don't I just go check like DMT grotto first? Maybe like make a play. Don't do the well.
And then you get the long shot there, and they take different routes around all of it. Like, you know, one of them does right side, whereas the other does left side in GTG. I swear to God, if they open this and it's like the mirror shield, I'm going to cry.
Oh boy, here we go.
Frogs hint, it's BGS! Oh my.
Okay.
Okay, Koari's out. That is
Koari,
Koari's
go.
out.
Run.
He goes up straight now, like straight to the MT from here. Oh, skulls first.
I don't
but
think there's any way, but if he did.
the left-right side split, like whether you bail or like keep going, there's options. Yeah. If you go into like the Gerudo training grounds, you find Ruto's letter. You ever leave? That's I think the question. I don't think you should, personally. But I can see a world where someone does.
Maybe he's just checking this out. No, you wouldn't. There's no way you would do that.
Oh my god, if it is. If it actually is, that...
Shoot the cell.
I'm in actual pain over here now.
Yeah.
So Longshot puts in the entire Gerudo area as well. We're missing Epona. But that's it. We're missing those two. We have the rooftop chest, we have the hammer rocks, we have the entire of the training grounds, and
Wasteland.
the wasteland.
Yeah.
All of that is in. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Bomb the World did have both other bows. That explains the path bow there for beating Shadow.
Yeah, so Storms would have to lock Longshot somehow.
Which has to now lock Kokiri Sword. Like, the hammer has to lock an item for Baronade, and that is all locked behind all of this as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there are other options for the hammer, and I don't think so, because I think every remaining hammer locked...
Yeah?
Yeah, it could be. I don't remember if it was...
It won't be. If we found the last key.
I don't remember if it was hammer locked though, because they had keys pretty much the entire way through, right?
Map chest.
But I guess you could.
They had two leaving.
You could waste one. You could. No, you can't waste one there though. Oh.
Like you would need the boss key, small key, to get past the map chest, because the map chest wasn't a key.
Right, okay. So yeah, Pierre is an option in theory, but otherwise, we're just looking for at least 2 items behind this long shot. One of them is the Kokiri Sword or something that leads to it, and the other one is something to Baronade. It could, in theory, and this would be like the worst case scenario, I think, for Koari, and for us, honestly, because it would be really boring. It could, in theory, just be that you go into like the Gerudo area, you get the letter and the boomerang, and Jabu has the Kokiri Sword or Ice has the Kokiri Sword, and it's that the letter leads you to Goma while the boomerang leads you to Baronade. That would be the worst case scenario.
Yeah, the most exciting I think at this point would just be you have to do AD and like somebody makes a play for it and the other person doesn't.
More useless major items. They're all showing up now.
Yep. We have all the bows. We know where all the bomb bags are. We've seen claim checks, Stone of Agony. We know where double defense is.
We saw Nehru's earlier, I think.
Yep, we did.
Fire arrows there.
Yep. We've seen ice arrows.
We're missing wallets. A slingshot or 2?
I don't think we've seen either tunic.
Maybe one of them?
Or no, we saw Zora tunic.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. It's not a lot left. If we see big chests at this point, they're almost always good.
Yeah.
How good is a question mark? Because, you know, there's a world of difference between Ruto's letter and a mirror shield at this point, but...
Yeah, and I think we're missing, like, both slings.
Yeah, 2 slings and a lens. The lens is dead because they have the hint for lens game. It could still be Paradox letter through all of this.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's been
Another
so
big
long.
chest.
Oh, wow. So this is guaranteed a slingshot. 100%. Because nothing else was items either. The generator forgot to put the items in. We're just going to be looking at slingshots for the rest of the seed.
Yeah, I guess just to recap the logic that got us here, actually, you were meant to get a bomb bag on Richard that they didn't get for the longest time, so they were all out of logic. That got you a bow in Castle Fairy, and also got you strength 2 in Spirit, so that you could go into Spirit to get your hook shot, that then led you into Forest, where you got your hammer, that led you into Fire, that got you your dins, that led you through Shadow to get Storms, to get the long shot. And that's where we are now.
Every single item in the game was locked by Recklin, except the Bombay.
Iron
Boots!
That's like the worst useful item. Like, of all the items that are bad, I guess Gold Scale is worse, but... yeah, that's basically the worst.
Awesome. That's good.
If anything, yeah, if anything, maybe that is worse because it puts it in logic, whereas Gold Scale, you're like, whatever, it's out of logic, I can ignore it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another big chest. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Wow. Oh wow, there's 2 big chests.
Are you actually serious? Are you actually serious?
This fucking rules.
That's... Oh my god. We've had like 10 big chests in like the last 12 checks, and none of them have been useful.
Alright, game. Where's the items? Also, Koari is about to go do these grottos. I wonder if after seeing the long shot, if maybe he goes for Frogs 1, having already done the river.
Oh, that's a good point, actually, yeah.
Because anytime you go to Jabu, like, you're just going to be going and, like, serenading and scaling through. So if you check Frogs 1 and, like, it happens to have the boomerang or the letter, that could be pretty big, honestly.
I was going to say, did Koari already check? No. Okay. He went into Kokiri Forest there and then just, like, immediately started going back, and I thought it was towards Frogs. But, yeah, nearly forgot to check this grotto, which... It sounds like something that wouldn't be costly, right? It's like, oh, it's not an item. But then at any point where you remember, it becomes costly because you're spending that extra time going back for it.
Yeah, exactly.
The first slingshot was available immediately. That was Dampe Race. So it just has to be a Kokiri sword somewhere behind all of this. Oh, goodbye shield.
It's okay, he'll find his other one in here.
No. The worst decision, do you beat Stone Spirit, or do you, like, that you've already done half of, or do you do Stone Water that you've not touched? That's it, make your choice.
Oh god.
That's a fun decision, but not a nice one. Like,
No.
It's the kind of thing that never comes up. And that kind of makes it interesting, because nobody, like, you know, everyone's thought through the, oh, which side dungeon do you, like, what's your priority order on the side, like, the 3 side dungeons? Everyone's thought that through. Everyone's thought through, like, full clearing stone dungeons. Oh my god!
Letter on Frogs, that could be huge.
That's incredible! up the hints as well, right? Both of them were
all
storms.
the hints are.
Long shot leads to Kokiri
satisfied
sword,
with
and storms led to letter.
GTG
Oh.
can literally be completely dead, and it works.
Yeah. No, actually, if letter locks Kokiri sword, then bow and hammer both get you letter that get you Kokiri sword. That clears up the paths. This could be nothing. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
something.
consider that.
And like, if Koari goes adult before grabbing the long shot, like if he turns in the letter here and is like, well, I can check the other grotto on the way, like, because if he thought it was boomerang, he would probably be checking it now, right? Because like, you would do it before you. I mean, maybe not, because like you're right here, you can turn in the letter. But like if he goes there and finds long shot as adult, but already has ice open, like maybe he just does ice because he's like right there.
Right.
And
yeah.
like if Rang is in there, Kokiri sword's in there. I mean, it would have to be either Rang leading to Kokiri sword or just Kokiri sword. But like that could be a huge turnaround.
Yeah, that's actually pretty incredible. Like that's. I didn't even consider it because we were so hung up on, it has to be storms locked, and then it's like, you find the long shot that opens up like 16 checks or something. It's gotta be behind that, right?
Well, we got a couple big chests in the maze here. Oh, a few
Yeah,
big chests in the
it's
maze
definitely still
here.
an option. There definitely still is.
Okay, Boomerang's in here, so you do have to come in. But if he comes in and just does right side, like if he's already close to go mode, like if Boomerang's is go mode.
Yeah, if you go to Ice Cavern, get Kokiri sword, I guess that is bad for Koari then though, because he would full clear Deku Tree looking for the boomerang, whereas Volc would. But then saving the time in the training grounds is probably better.
There's also like no guarantee that without letter, Volc is gonna go and do Frogs 1. Light arrows are here too.
Right side gets you both? Okay.
Could be big. So big chest we know is dead. That's a bomb bag. There is a big chest in the back of the maze. I think 5 key locked.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. If that's Kokiri sword, it's still in Volc's hands, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kokiri sword at this point is just game, right? Pretty much.
It really depends on when he goes frogs. So there it is. He's in
one item from go.
Yeah, and that one item is on frogs. So he's basically just on a timer now, I guess. Like Koari, when he gets long shot, will most likely go to GTG, and that would put him in go mode.
So the question is, how much do they each have to do before they get their other Storms check? They both have one remaining Song of Storms check, and they both need to do them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, these decisions right now are going to be extremely important. So I think Koari, like, even if he's going to Ice Cavern, he probably does that grotto on the way to Ice Cavern. It's just a matter of, like, making that decision once he sees the long shot. Like, that's what it all comes down to. Volc is doing some checks, looking for the letter. He basically has to just go and do Frogs 1 at some point. But doing that without having the letter is a little scary. Also missing the recoil. I don't think I've seen anybody actually land the recoil in S6. So Volc with the save warp, not going to do any lake checks here. Just going straight for Deku Tree, which makes sense. Koari, like we mentioned he would, is heading towards ice. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to commit. He still has the option to change his mind. And he will be finding the long shot before going to ice. So I think he will make the decision to go to GTG. I think if I were in his shoes, I would personally. I think it just makes more sense. There's more checks there. You don't need the prelude.
Coming up here first is a big deal, for sure. And honestly, like, that gives him his out here, right? Now we have a real race on our hands.
Yeah.
Because Volc coming out of Deku Tree is going to have a decision to make. And it might be frogs.
He walked out of the grotto. I think he just needed like a second to think, like, is this what I'm doing? And then, yeah, like you like, have to. This makes the most sense.
That puts so much into logic. Is it ice or... No, okay. It's just... Oh, okay. I thought that was that looked like the setup to Spirit there. I was about to get scared.
Still grabbing some skulls. He's not quite at 20 yet, so kind of makes sense. These are some quick ones you can pick up on the way through, so... Oh no, never mind, I'm blind. I thought he was facing a different direction.
Oh, right.
That's my bad. Yeah, I thought he was heading towards the, what do you call that?
The, like, oasis?
Oasis, yeah, that's the word.
I think it's important to note, Volc isn't losing time here, right? This is not the point where Koari is gaining time. Yeah. What Volc does after Deku Tree is the part that matters. If Volc goes straight to River from here, back up to Lost Woods, into River, goes through, does frogs, I think Volc is probably ahead at that point. If Koari does left side as well, then I think Volc is definitely ahead at that point.
Yeah. This is interesting. I'm trying to think of, like, what... Because... Okay, is this Mirror Shield?
Were there enough keys on right side to... Oh my god, it is Mirror Shield.
Like, Mirror Shield might be the one thing that can maybe pull you away from this, because now there's, like, more checks in Spirit. So, like, maybe you would do Spirit over, like, the lake or, like, the river domain. But...
Volc hasn't done domain yet, right?
No, he hasn't done river or domain. Like, he hasn't been river at all.
I feel like Serenade into domain, into river, just feels too efficient here.
You didn't need a spoiler log for that one. It was like a 50-50. It's either or it blends. Maybe a bottle, I don't know.
Gold scale is still in,
Gold
but
scale, yeah.
Not much left. Just flip
there's another big test. I think this one's gonna be a big scale, a gold scale. It is quite big though.
Oh, like, we are missing Feroz actually. That's a useful one that we're missing.
Oh yeah, actually that would be pretty.
That would have been really good for Koari already because he's dipped into Jabu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure enough, there it is. We're no longer missing
we
Feroz.
Get one.
Koari is going to lose a little bit of time here going up to get the long shot up there. Oh, Koari does this. Okay.
Let's go. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen this one before. Looks good.
That was so smooth. Wow.
Good job. Yes, that's some time saved on the clear. Don't have to climb up. Very nice. That's a nice
getting caught the
ESS
second time,
list.
not ideal though.
ESS list strat for all you people.
I just want to comment on something in chat here, right? Like, we've been calling a lot of stuff today. I actually think a lot of this is the kind of stuff that comes with experience. This is the sort of stuff that, as you play enough seeds, you start to figure out things like this. You know, we thought there would be a major item in the bottom of the well, and we were wrong about that one, technically. But a lot of the like logic chains and stuff like that, even if we didn't get the exact details right, I think a lot of that is just like... How long have you been playing this, Rando? Because I've been...
Too long.
Yeah, like...
This pre-season 1.
I started playing around the time season 1 was happening. So, yeah, I think a lot of this is just almost that, like... And so this is something that comes up in card games a lot. I'll finish this thought once we see where Volc is going. I want to see the next play.
Looks like he's walking up, so...
This looks like up, so probably... He did Childgorn City earlier, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, Volc's probably heading over to River then.
This has to be River, yeah. I would think so.
Yeah, so there's a thing that comes up a lot in card games where it's figuring out your instincts versus your logic. In some situations, you're going to go, okay, my opponent could have this card in their hand, they could have this card, they could have this card, what do I need to play around? And other times, you will instinctively be like, I should do this in this order, and you don't know why. And it turns out you're playing around something that you just hadn't even consciously thought of. I feel like Rando is the same. I feel like Rando is the same in that regard, where a lot of things you have to just instinctively do, and you pick up those instincts by just playing lots of seeds and learning. And then there are other times where you come up with these weird scenarios where you have to suddenly go, okay, now I have to really think about what I'm meant to do here, and you do the logic side of it.
So yeah, I guess, like, thinking about it, this play makes absolute sense, because the only thing the long shot locked so far is Kokiri Sword, and Kokiri Sword also... Or no, it locked Rang. Never mind. Don't listen.
And Mirror. Like, you could follow the Mirror through, but I think following Mirror is typically bad. It's 2 checks, 3 checks. I always forget the top one. So, yeah. I think it's, I think this makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Letter doesn't exist. Volc will never find it, ever.
God damn it.
I'm just answering chat.
It certainly won't see it for very long. Has it and immediately gets rid of it again.
You don't need them. I guess chicken's still faster.
So yeah, I think... Well, I mean, Koari did left side as well. This is what we were saying, right? If Volc went straight to River and if Koari did left side, I think Volc has a pretty firm lead at that point. And that's it, yeah, Volc is in go mode as well, so...
Yeah.
No light arrows to worry about, no... anything to worry about, really. Koari gets to skip a lot of... Deku Tree. But... yeah, it's, that doesn't matter when they both have to do all of Jabu, and that's it. Koari still has to do Deku Tree, where Volc doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So... that... all things considered, that race was this has been a really interesting, really cool race in a lot of ways. The logic at the start was really wild. There was a lot that could happen with it, and then it just cleaned itself up very neatly.
Yeah, I kind of just did, like, the most obvious, boring thing. And then, like, near the end, it was like, okay, like...
It picked up again with storms, yeah.
Yeah. It was mostly just, like, storms having 2 different things. But then, like, both of those 2 different things are, like, things.
Like, the fact that Koari had to make the decision of going to the Storm's Grotto before Ice and then going to over to like the Gerudo area, Wasteland, GTT, everything, instead of following through on ice, was interesting, and it let things open up a ton. But I think Volc understood the logic well here, understood the kind of how to play around the logic very specifically. I think,
especially early,
yeah, it's something like I know we've talked about a bunch before and like talked with a bunch of other people about, but I always say I think it's really, really important that people have to learn the logic for the game. I think it's really important to know the logic and understand the logic. It's one of the reasons that, I'm a big proponent of not adding tricks to logic. Make people actually understand the logic they're playing with by making it more convoluted. But then knowing where you can or can't avoid logic is the most important part of that. This was a seed where there was a lot of logic to follow, but Volc recognized that, well, at least to begin with, you can just ignore it. You go over to Spirit, you get your hookshot, you ignore all of that, and then getting the hammer in Forest guaranteed that, yeah, okay, you don't need the logic anymore. We can just ignore that entirely. And I think that was honestly the biggest difference between the two, was Koari spent a lot more time kind of going back and forth looking for the logic, I think. And Volc made, I think, a really good call to avoid it.
Yeah, because it was just like, it just kind of boiled down to, like, bomb bag is somewhere. It really doesn't matter. Like, I know my hookshot is in Spirit at this point. I'm just gonna go pick up my hookshot and just start doing progression. And it turns out, like, everything was just in the next medallion dungeon until, like, you got Song of Storms. Like, it was basically just a huge chain of the items you needed to do the next dungeon.
Right, and, like, there's a world where you play this exact seed again, except you swap the hammer and the bomb bag, and you are meant to logically go and do Richard to get your hammer to... Like, at that point, the hammer becomes more important because it was Storms. Volc didn't do Richard until incredibly late. Obviously, wouldn't have been able to beat Fire. So would have then had to go hunting around for whatever this logic thing was, and would have spent a lot more time backtracking. Koari would then have been rewarded for the early logic plays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Volc pushing the progression early made sense here, and I think the way the seed played out, it worked for him, but I think it's one of those plays where it wouldn't have been bad even if the opposite had happened. It just would have been a much closer race. I think it would have been pretty much neck and neck and would have come down to that final long shot letter style play. I think right now we would be looking at them both being in their final dungeons, and it would be we have no idea who's going to win, as opposed to, okay, Volc is a dungeon ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Koari hitting go mode, so we'll be working towards the finish. Of course, Volc is already a dungeon and a half ahead, so we'll be finishing the seed first, hopefully, barring something absolutely tragic. Yeah, not really a whole lot left to talk about. Just,
you know what we do get to see?
No.
Koari's doing Jabu first, so we're going to get to see if both runners do crate skip. Important. Oh, the unused Chrono Trigger song is really nice. I like that song a lot. I think how
that
close
on?
the races are and how much like they come down to just like a handful of decisions or like a tiny execution difference or whatever honestly speaks volumes to just how much the community has improved and how good this community has got at this game. You go back, 2-3 years even, and there were races that, and no disrespect to the players in those races, but there were races that were pretty much foregone conclusions on execution alone. Some players just understood the game better than others in some places. Obviously this is going back way further, but you look at season 1 or 2, ATZ's understanding of the logic was like absolute head and shoulders above everyone else. Just no one even came close to it. And that's just not the case anymore. Partially because of just the kind of, oh no, Koari!
No.
Immediately just turns back. But yeah, like, I think part of it is that it speaks a lot to just how much the community shares information, and obviously, there are side communities that do that a lot as well. I think, I talk about individual people's servers here, like, it happens in What the Hell server is a big one for it, my server's a big one for it, it happens in the main rando server. The biggest community for all of that is the French community. The French community has so much of that kind of communal teaching and learning, that student like mentor kind of relationship. We mentioned earlier that Volc is Ecola's student, who was Arthur's student, who, well, I mean, he was a speedrunner, but learned the logic from others. I think that's like a huge part of it. And also just the strats have developed so much to the point that they're actually easier to learn than they used to be. Because it's not just a case of, oh, there are more strats being developed, but there are more efficient strats being developed. So instead of having to do these very convoluted setups and, oh, remember this exact sequence of inputs, people started to learn, okay, you can do this more efficiently by doing this thing, and this is quicker and it's easier to remember. And so it's easier to learn more strats now than it used to be, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Especially like just because I saw in chat about it being like intimidating to start playing. Honestly, don't be intimidated. There are plenty of resources and people who are more than happy to help you with just about anything, honestly. The community is huge now, and there's just so many helpful people, especially in the Discord. You can always find help if you're looking for it.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that, we've had to go to a top 64 these last couple of seasons from the top 32, from season 1 being a top 16, just goes to show how much the community has not just improved, but also grown within that time. I've been putting together my tournament sheet of like every OoTR like event that's taken place and all the results, and being able to check who's got which placements and stuff. And just going through all of that, it's incredible seeing some of the names, because there's old names where I'm like, they came back for a bit. I remember them like coming back for this tournament, but you also see the difference in levels. Somebody takes a break for a year or two and suddenly there's like 100 new people who've climbed above them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, sure enough, I am 100% a spreadsheet nerd. I spend so much time on it. But yeah, sure enough, one of the things, like we were saying earlier with Volc, Volc, basically as their first tournament, played Season 3 of League. Wasn't even a year ago.
Look at him now.
But yeah, it helps having Ecola as a mentor, who is, without a doubt, I think the fastest, like, up-and-coming runner, quote-unquote. As in, is the runner who has gone from being new to being a top competitor in the shortest space of time, I think.
Yeah, and that's like time like overall and not necessarily time played, because I think by the time like he was like decent, he had put in about as much time as anybody else in terms of like time played.
I think
Ikola like play a lot.
Yeah, when I started playing this game, I played a lot. And I think Ikola in his first month played more than I did in my first year. So definitely a good mentor to have. And I mean, it showed, right? Like, Volc hitting top 64 in under a year with Ikola as a mentor, who also hit top 64 in under a year last season. And yeah, just the speed that people can learn this kind of thing, and especially if you have those dedicated kind of one-to-one mentor-student things, like the speed that people can learn this game is just unbelievable. We have a crate skipper!
Let's go. Yeah, I don't want to make this like the Ikola show, but like I've always said like Ikola is kind of just the poster boy for hard work paying off.
It's so free!
It's so free. Especially if like you buffer the up A. Like
yeah, that was so good.
Good job, Koari.
I love it. Telling you, Koari the Seed did the box skip first try and like proved my point from earlier, and also did spinning pot with strength first try. Like, regardless of the race result, and like I know the race result will feel bad, right? We've said already a lot of how that came to be, I think, and it pretty much hinged on one big decision, I think. But Koari has definitely shown why he's in top 64 here. Like, some of the execution has been really good, some of his understanding of the game has been really good, and it's just kind of unfortunate that, you know, everyone in the top 64 is an incredibly good player.
Yeah.
Some of them, like, you know, a quarter of them have to go 0-2.
Yeah, it is sad that a quarter of people have to go 0-2. I think I remember Trez saying something about like maybe next year won't be double elim. So it'd be cool if it was like some kind of like group thing, maybe. I don't know.
Fun, yeah. Get a few extra games in as well, and then you can like, yeah, definitely see the kind of ups and downs in between. But yeah, like that's always the thing that I always, I don't know, want to remind people in tournaments like this is like being lower in, like it came up with League a lot, right? Where people were like, oh, I'm Division 7, that's so low. Like there are only 8 divisions. I was like, 7 is the halfway point. Oh no, yeah. Volc. This won't be enough to make up a Deku tree, but this is not the Ganondorf fight you wanted. Oh my god!
Oh wow! That one's gonna feel a little scary.
Like... Yeah, it's still not enough to make up a Deku tree, but
he's gotta be freaked out. Like that's
absolute panic right now. Yeah,
especially when the seed felt so straightforward. Like you really don't want to be losing time, especially like right at the end. It definitely feels a little scary. Scary.
Mm-hmm. And now you're at 3 hearts, so one shot the entire way through. Also, to finish the point I was making with League was, yeah, Division 7 was like the halfway point, and so there were people who were in Division 7 who were, you know, the higher seeds in Division 7 who were like, I'm so low, and I was like, actually, you're in the top half of players. That's just kind of how it played out with the numbers. Mm-hmm. It's the same with this. going 0-2 in top 64 means you made top 64. Like, it's certainly not bad. Unfortunately, yeah, 16 people have to do it. Oh, you do get healed. Yeah. I always forget that. It's been so long since I actually did a Ganondorf fight.
Yeah, you get healed. He doesn't give you magic, though. But I mean, you should have magic. I'm just saying.
The last handful of times I played OOT were bingo, so
Oh, you just never see Ganon.
I just don't do Ganondorf anymore. Yeah, I just stop. You get a gold scale or something. You're like, I'm done. I'm out.
Your second stick upgrade. That's go mode. Bingo mode. Sorry.
Fine, I said bongo songo earlier, so I can't complain about puns.
Catch that.
The Koari going to be on the way into Ganon's as Volc finishes here, which it's always one of those heartbreaking things. It feels terrible. In a weird way, you'd rather lose missing an item than know you were that close. And at that point, you get into your own head. You think about every single thing. If this had been different, I might have won. If this had been different, I might have won. But I think. And I will say, I think this is important for people who are in these matches and in these situations. I think the most important thing is to kind of step back, talk to other people, and try and look at it objectively. In this situation, I think the difference was Volc ignored the logic a lot more, and I think it was the right play in this seed. I think it was the right play, and I think it worked. This seed was the reason why it was the right play, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we mentioned, it's totally possible that with 2 bomb bags that are likely bomb locked, that your initial step in logic is just a hammer that leads to everything, and following logic could have 100% made sense. It's just, it wasn't the seed for it.
Yeah. I think Volc ignoring the logic was the right call here, because the worst that happens is you have to go back through logic and you're about even. But this seed really showed why. This one rewarded ignoring it. And yeah, there you go. Volc in first, 2:40.18. Nice. So the runners were on a 20-minute delay. We'll see if Koari went ahead and finished the seed after that. But we'll also, I guess, see who's joining us.
Any joiners?
Oh, welcome.
Looks like we are being joined by Koari. So welcome, Koari. GG's.
GG's, I guess.
And it looks like Volc said yes, but I'll just see when. Oh, Volc said no? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, Volc said no. Not comfortable with his English.
That's fair. Makes sense.
That's totally fair. There's a French restream too, so.
Yeah. GG's. Definitely a close one. I'm sure you've seen that on this end now.
Yeah.
I guess to start with them, just what are your thoughts first going in this? It was a bizarre seed for a lot of it. How do you feel it played out from your perspective?
Well, I think that hook shot was probably the first killer. for me personally, because I did a lot before I went back adult, primarily because time of day,
Mhm.
hence the
Yeah.
river play, hence the domain play, hence planting a bean. Felt like there are certain things I just put off for too long. I just, especially GTG.
I
Well,
think,
GTG made sense. I think you did it as soon as it made sense to do it, honestly.
yeah, agreed. Um, there was a very big chance, and we said quite early on, there was a pretty high chance that your long shot is just locked behind whatever your go mode is, and you never have access to the gritter area in Logic.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
I
no,
think the big
this
thing.
lo
Oh,
yeah, I
go
just
on,
wanna
sorry.
mention, like, this logic chain, like, Hyrule Castle Lagoma, it's the bow. Forest Temple Baronade, the hammer. But given the hover's location and the amount of keys available, hammer's not locked by bow. And then
And Tins
what
is
was it?
locked by Henry.
Dins isn't
Yeah,
locked by
Diz.
hammer. Exactly. It was you had 3 keys without the hammer. So I'm like, okay, what what the hell?
Yeah, that was kind of, I guess, the point. What you're gonna say is like the big difference from our perspective was, obviously the time of day was a big part of it, I think, but you kind of did a lot of the early checks towards getting the bomb bag from Richard before going through into all of the other chains. Volk didn't. Volk grabbed the one in field and just never looked back. That kind of ended up being the big difference. He did eventually get Richard, but it was, on the way to bottom of the well. And we were saying, like, if you swapped the bomb bag and the hammer in the seed, then it's probably neck and neck. You two are side by side going into Ganon if you swap those two. Because of the way round it was, Volk got rewarded for ignoring the logic. Or not ignoring, but you know what I mean, like knowing where to avoid it, I think, is the big way I would look at it. With that said, we were definitely at the point, the bottom of the well in the seed. What? Because we are at the point where we're like, okay, you're going to find like a Kakiri sword or a letter, and then you'll find the other one behind those, and then Boomerang has to be somewhere, and maybe Longshot somewhere, and then go into the bottom of the well and see like 5 big chests.
Yeah, 2 bows, and then and then fire arrows in the coffin, and then I don't even know what else. Uh,
Yeah, no, it was just like everything useless. If Iron Boots, I think, were down there as well. Oh
No,
no,
that was
Iron
not
Boots for the
Fortress.
fortress roof. Yeah,
no, Fortress Roof.
was it Mirror Shield that was down there then?
Deku Tree.
No.
That was Deku Tree, right?
Yep.
You never got Mirror Shield, of course.
And so wait. So what was Volk looking for that he was doing Deku Tree?
His
He
was the letter.
did
So he
River
went to
out to
the
Deku. Yeah.
yeah, he went to the DMT storms before going to River. So he ended up doing like GTG and then doing Deku Tree and then going to River.
Mm,
Yeah, basically the same thing in the other way around. There was like it was interesting because at that point we had that consideration of like, oh, maybe Volk goes off and gets lost somewhere here, and Koari just hits go mode in GCG and wins from there. But I think at that point Volk had very little. I mean, I think at that point both of you had very little in logic, and Volk had also not touched domain, which, as you said earlier, was kind of one of the big things that you did early. So at that point, it just made sense for Volk to do river and domain.
mhm.
We were very impressed by the gameplay, though. I will say that one. I don't know if you were listening to the commentary for the end after you finished, but there are a lot of things that we called out as like specific tricks that people don't do enough, or that are like pretty difficult to get. You got the spinning pot with strength first try. What?
Well, no, what's funny is that I often fail it because I'm too fast at it.
You gotta wait
Like,
just
if
the
you-
right amount of time.
Yeah, if you notice, if you go back and look, when I do it, I do that shield flick. I do that shield flick because the way I learned it was to just bonk the wall and then grab the bomb shoe. But I noticed whenever I do that, it was too fast. I think it happened like that 3 times where I just get the whatever face.
Yeah, I tried it the other week and got the whatever face. And then I was like, you know what, I'm not doing it. But it definitely can be something that's useful to know. And then of course he did the crate skip in Jabu, which we're all just really big fans of, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got the box skip and then proceed to fail Jabu second phase.
Oh, the Baronade rank throw. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that
It can be.
it's
The worst
one
is
of
if
those
you miss
things.
the first throw, you're just gonna miss like every throw. Or like the first throw of the second phase, I mean.
Mhm.
Like I just get stuck there forever if I miss that first one.
Mhm.
Yeah, GG's, we do have your finish in race time, 2:48.28.
Yeah. Love that I no longer care about my Ganondorf fight. I'm just sitting there like, I've already lost, so who cares? Let's throw.
Yeah, I like. It sucks to be on the. We were saying this earlier as well. Is like obviously commiserations, I guess, on the like. A quarter of the bracket has to get eliminated at this point, and that's just a lot of good players are going to go. But you know, first major tournament bracket. Some really good performances, and I guess planning to come back next year.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
I always have to up myself. Like every year has been improvements upon improvements. So it's like start off, you know, not even making the Challenge Cup in Season 4, and then making Challenge Cup and being knocked out in 42 seconds in the bracket stage.
Sorry,
And
in
now-
42 seconds or by?
Bye,
42
I assume.
By
That's a fast seed.
Yeah, Marco snuck his way onto Challenge Cup. But yeah, no, I lost by 42 seconds in Challenge Cup last year, and now top 64. And the goal is to just raise that ceiling higher.
Yeah, and I think you will. I mean,
Yeah, I'm looking
At
forward
this
to
rate,
seeing the
definitely.
bracket run next year.
For now, though, I think I'm going to take a break.
Yeah.
Catch up on some shows, play some Blue Archive.
Always good. I think a break after this, like you spend so much time practicing and improving that just taking a step back and relaxing for a bit always sounds like a good plan. And I mean,
it can be important too. Like, definitely.
we know full well how much time and effort you put into this, and yeah, hitting top 64 really was like the fruits of the labor, I guess. It really shows like how much that work paid off, and yeah, I'm looking forward to more next season.
Yeah, wake me up when SGL starts.
So, any final thoughts? I guess just like on the seed or S6 in general. Is there anybody you're looking out for that you're cheering for?
So I know some good friends that are still in this tournament. Hi, Drew.
Hey.
And then some friends of old, like Bobby, aka Sea of Falcon, former co-op partner Rockchaw. Yeah, I still have, even though I'm not in the tournament anymore, I still have some people I know that I'm still gonna root for. And yeah, I still would like to at least still be a part of it on the volunteer side of things. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll still see you memeing in chat along with the rest of us.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure, we'll end up on comms together at some point as well.
Yeah, and won't. Yeah, and then won't just be chat. I'll probably be memeing on comms too.
I guess speaking of volunteers, just our final shout out. So thank you to both of our trackers. We have, Axel Ryman and Tenacious Toad tracking for us today. Thank you to both of our runners, of course, Koari Dude and Volc-41. And shout outs to my co-commentator, Yoshi Kion.
Yeah, no, and Drew, go follow Drew. Drew's great.
And final thanks to our restreamer, Ricky of Koari.
Thank you, and thank you to Drewnas for commentating as well. Am I good to wrap up then?
Yeah.
Think so, yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right, so as Drewnas said, thank you to everybody. Thank you everyone for watching. We're going to go raid ZSR2 right now. They've got the Ocarina of Time Randomizer tournament match between Sora and Ice9. We're going to go give them our support. At 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, we have a Breath of the Wild 80% tournament lower bracket finals between Rollhike Song and Zhao Jia Mi. I hope I said that right, but doubt it. And then tomorrow, 8:20 a.m. Eastern, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer tournament match between Debu Decker and Xeno. That's on the main channel. At 1 p.m. Eastern, we have the DDR weekly race on ZSR2. At 12 p.m. Eastern, we have the Majora's Mask Randomizer weekly race on ZSR3. At 2:50 p.m. Eastern, we have Flooch versus I Dunno in this tournament on ZSR4. And then Tanjil 3 versus Alizoun is at 1:20 p.m. on the main ZSR channel. So a lot of Ocarina of Time Randomizer matches. It was kind of a headache trying to pick which ones are going to get featured. Focusing on lower brackets because a lot of people, for a number of people, that's going to be their last match. We want to get them featured before they depart. And with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off here. Going to go raid ZSR2. So once again, thank you everyone so much for watching. Hope you had a wonderful time and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye!